So, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Wage Women Advocating for Gender Equality. Tonight, we're going to have a really interesting show. I hope you guys like it. Please share, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can, because we do have a YouTube channel for you guys. And tonight's show is going to be Newark's housing crisis. We definitely have one. Many of you seen me and other advocates in the community as of recently advocating for people who were being forced out of their homes illegally, people who are just having a hard time maintaining a roof over their head. Homelessness is a big issue, and plus we have the housing insecurity, right? And this kind of incorporates people who maybe they're not literally virtually on the street homeless, but living from, maybe a neighbor or somebody else. And so we want to address those issues. We want to talk to some experts who know a lot of information that can help navigate us as we engage in this new way of living here that we cannot accept to get used to. So this is part of the advocacy, right? Giving people a platform to share their struggles, what it is that they're going through, and how we could work together to change those things for the better. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining, and just hold tight, and pretty soon we're about to begin.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This and like this. Baby, you a heart stopper.
Woke up in my city, yeah, I feel like Big Papa. I feel like Big Papa.
Nah, nah, nah. You gotta go like this, and like this. Baby, you a heart stopper.
Woke up in my city.
Okay, so welcome back, and it's time for us to begin. Again, tonight we're just talking about the housing crisis in Newark as it exists and what we can do to change the game as far as that's concerned, and to navigate this situation to make it a better situation for all of those included. So I'm going to start by showing you a short video clip to help us understand a little bit better what it is exactly that we're dealing with. What it is that we're up against. So I'm gonna just pull up something so that you guys can see exactly, where we're coming from with this.
Just an ordinary day at the 224 Sussex Avenue shelter in Newark, New Jersey. Dozens of homeless men and women lined up outside against the chain link fence on a recent afternoon, waiting for the opportunity to be let back inside to their rooms for the evening. But panic is starting to set in among Newark's homeless population because in a month, this shelter is set to close its doors for good. If this place closes down, where do you go?
Me personally, I have no idea where I'm going to go. I'm just going to be homeless living down at Penn Station.
Ashley, who asked for her face to be concealed out of fear the shelter would kick her out for speaking up, says Penn Station may have been an option years or even several months ago, but not anymore. Malik Williams says police have recently been shooing away homeless men and women out of Penn Station.
No, they don't want you inside that building at all. It's like 12:30, like Fort Knox.
With nowhere to go, perhaps now you can understand why Newark's homeless population is desperately calling for city officials to find additional funding to keep the doors open at the Sussex Avenue shelter, which has approximately 400 beds.
I had a stroke, I can't be on the street at all. I can't be out here because I'm a doctor's care.
What's happening here in Newark is eerily reminiscent of what we reported in No Place to Call Home.
We levied some fines.
Our 2-year investigation into the de Blasio administration's handling of New York City's ongoing homeless crisis. In short, by closing a major shelter and taking away recognized safe spaces like Penn Station, community advocates are beginning to question whether Newark Mayor Ras Baraka is pulling resources and quietly sending the message that the homeless are no longer welcome in Newark in order to make the city more attractive to economic development.
We just lost 31 Fulton Street, which is about the size of this facility. The renovation has been halted because they have the new 2 shack towers going up and the renovation of the Verizon building, and they've now decided they don't want homeless people downtown anymore.
Mayor Baraka declined our request for an interview, but his spokesperson sent Pix 11 a letter he sent to homeless advocates in which he details his administration's creation of a winter shelter here at 224 Sussex Avenue for the first time ever. Quote,
okay, so we're just going to stop right there. Basically, I think we get exactly what the point is. And the point is that we have a problem here, and we've had this problem for quite some time. So I want to point out a couple of things before we technically begin. As you notice, the young lady who was sitting on the steps, her face was blurred out, and her face was blurred out because she wanted it to, because of the fear of a repercussion, coming to her. It's the intimidation that exists. So not only are these people being forced into homelessness and not having consistent shelter, but also is bullying that is occurring, right? That they can't show their face, right? But they also don't have a voice. So it's like they become like invisible, and they can't even talk about the situation. So we see this suffering and silence occurring, and we just, have to just try to navigate what we can do as a city to combat this. So with that being said, I want to first bring on my co-host. Her name is Tanika. Hello, Tanika, how are you? Tanika, you have to unmute your mic.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Hello,
good evening.
Everyone.
Good evening. Good evening. Tanika, I don't know. I know that you've been a lifelong Newarker. Have you seen any difference over the years in the in like increased homelessness here? Like, what has been your experience in terms of what you see now as what you've seen, as we, grew up here in the city of Newark?
Definitely pre-pandemic, since I was a little girl, like once you get past Broad and Market, going further down to Ferry Street, everyone knew that the homeless migrated to Penn Station, either around Penn Station, somewhere behind Ferry, and what is that, Wilson Avenue.
Right.
Because of the pandemic, I have been saying, where's all our homeless people gone? Where are they? And we've heard about a lot of the shelters and stuff and buildings that used to house homeless people have been closed, shut down. They lost funding during COVID. But where are they? Like, I have no clue. You don't see, some of the people that you even knew by face, that you knew by name. Like, I have not seen a lot of people. And, a lot of people was like, well, during COVID, they were hospitalized. They were in those, what you call those containers that had down there. But now, like, okay, well, where are they now? If they were in those containers then, where are they now? Like, see,
okay, Tanika, we're kind of losing the sound.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I can hear now. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? I was trying to make sure my
Wi-Fi. We can
Wi-Fi.
hear you now, but we can't see you. Yeah.
Making sure my Wi-Fi was good. I had enough bars.
Okay. Okay. So we can hear you. Okay, there you are. There you are.
It's just like, was there some type of secret going on in the community that bust our homeless somewhere where we don't know where they are?
Wow.
No one has seen them, and if they were displaced somewhere.
Wow, that's a great question. And I've ran into people who weren't from here and was bused here, but it never occurred to me that our homeless was potentially bused somewhere
Somewhere else.
Great points that you're raising, Tanika. Listen, with that being said, I want to bring on our guest for tonight. And Tanika, I just want to say thank you for co-hosting with us this evening, because I tried to get everybody in the community to be a part of this because it's an interactive community show. And that just reminds me, anybody who has any questions, please post them in the comment section. Any questions, thoughts, or whatever, post them there and we'll put them up. But with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to our guest for this evening. And her name is Jessica. So I'm going to let Jessica just introduce you guys to herself just a little bit. Jessica, unmute.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Coleman. I'm in the city of Newark as we speak, dealing with this homeless situation. It's a situation that's completely out of hand, but I can't speak for everyone else. I can only speak for what I have going on today.
Right.
I have myself and my children have a Section 8 voucher, and it's actually a 4-bedroom voucher. And it's like, it's really hard to find anything here. Like, it's just, I don't know. The help that you get here is really, it's opinionated. You know, the people actually get to be at their discretion. There's no steady line towards anything that's going on. It's just, you go down and the people are just rejecting you. And these people really have serious situations going on with their children. And they're homeless because of someone's opinion. You know, that part right there alone, it does something to my spirit, because I couldn't believe the way I was treated. Like, the treatment of what do you call it? Department of Social Services was atrocious.
Wow.
You know, as a woman, as a single parent, you know, there are programs. There's so many programs for women that are, when you get an apartment, when you get something, but who helps you get to that point? You know what I mean? Is the problem. You know, what you would think as the social services is that what help people are hindering you, because people are coming in with their own personal attitudes of how they feel in the day, and they're able to judge what you have going on with your life. You know, right now I'm actually in a car racing to get to my kids to actually get back to a shelter, because I have a curfew, you know, as a grown woman. And that's fine that it's that way, but I'm trying to get there. But this is from going to look at houses. I've been racing and looking for houses all day. Wow. You know, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to really talk about on here, but you know, my life right now is just in a complete uproar. And Jessica, to know that it was no assistance, you know. Right. But when a white woman actually jumped in, and this woman is amazing, you know, when you try to say it's the people against you, I can't stand on that one, because this white woman came in and took over and didn't look at the fact that I had my nails done, like the fact that I didn't look like what I was going through. You know, it says that in the Bible, you're not supposed to look like what you're going through. You know, that's just, it says that, you know, but who stands on that today? Because I can't let my kids look like what we're going through. My kids look like $1 million. You'd think they ready, camera, photo ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it going down to get help, they looked me up and down, as well as my children. It took me to go there 4 times to actually be able to get some service. Right. And that's a horrible feeling, to know that this is what the people of Newark are dealing with. And these are their own. This is not even like people that are coming out of the city. These are the people here partying at Marlowe's and eating at the Chateau of Spain, and you know, doing these things that they come together. You know what I mean? How do you not help your city flourish? The Jewish people, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to talk about a certain people, but Jewish people and African people are coming in, buying the city apart. The New Yorkers are moving into the city because it's cheaper to live here. Right. And they're taking over, and you can't even say that it's the heart of Newark anymore, because it's like a melting pot. You know what I mean? Coming
Wow.
back, I haven't been here for a long time, and I've come back to Newark, and it's just so angry. The people here are just, they're angry people. I'm sorry I don't went into the dark now because I'm on the
No,
highway,
it's
but
okay.
you know, these people are angry here. You know what I mean? And I understand in a way why they're angry, because there's no assistance in the heart of North.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying the right things, but I do know that coming back, I'm ashamed of what we have become here as Newark. This was my city. This was it. I'm an Indian. I came from Weekway. You know what I mean? Like, and
Right. Right.
it's a confusing
Mm.
state to be in, to know that our city it's come to such a fashionable, you know, it's a trend. It's become a trend here, instead of we don't get repped like we used to. You know,
Right.
it used to be a thing to be repped from Newark,
No,
from Brick
exactly.
City.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It
that
used to be a thing to be from Brick City.
definitely.
Now it's like transit. You know what I mean? It's the who's of Newark. It's how you get repped. If you were a part of the what was his name? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't remember. But it was but the dude before Barack. The
Cory
guy became
Booker.
before Roz.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. You know
Uh,
Right.
what I mean? It was like, are you a part of the Cory Booker effect? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Right.
But however, it was a pleasure to be on here with you ladies. You know, it was a pleasure to be able to speak about my feelings towards how, you know, I as a person was treated here, you
Wow.
know, and I hope it only gets better. I really do.
Yeah.
me also. Speaking on that I have a sister that I've been friends with for over 10 years, and she's in the same situation, that she has a Section 8 voucher. She has four daughters and a son, and therefore her voucher is for 4 bedrooms. Realistically, the way these apartments are done today, you barely can get a 3 bedroom to function as a 3 bedroom. You would need fully a full one family house to accommodate a parent that has, more than 3 children, and everyone are of age, to not be sleeping in a room with each other. But because, one, the rents went up,
Yeah.
their Section 8 vouchers don't match what the rents are today.
Right.
So I don't know, who we need to speak to, where we need to send a letter to, that our government needs to know now that the going rental rate in Newark today is higher than someone getting a mortgage.
That's
But
true.
it's a market rent. It's a market rent, and cash people are able to
Newark
pay it.
was governed under, you had to rent control and things like that.
Right.
So because of the pandemic, that rent control went out the window, and nobody is adhering to it anymore. It's like, oh, well, the market went up, so now, you got landlords coming in, just verbally evicting tenants.
Right.
Just
Right.
handing over letters, have not gotten a LT docket number or SC docket number, no type of judgment from no court, but just, just like she said, people looking at it and saying, well, the house across the street, they raised their rent to 2 grand, so I'm gonna raise my rent to 2 grand,
Right.
when you haven't did nothing to upkept your unit in 20 years.
Right.
So where's that? Okay, you can only go up 6%. 6% of someone who was only paying 11.50.
Right.
Duh, you can only go up no more than $20. So her went would have went from 1150 to 1170.
Right.
Not her rent went from 1150 to she's paying
Peace and
1700.
blessings, people.
Sorry,
Peace and
guys.
blessings, people. Peace and blessings.
So
So,
Apologize for that, guys.
topic of conversation. Kanye.
Okay, definitely not where we need to be. I apologize. Continue talking, sweetheart.
So, where is the structure and the foundation in that? And she's been looking for 4 months that, someone who did not live in the city of Newark, someone who didn't live in the state of New Jersey, purchased her the home that she's been living in for almost 16 years with her children. So where now, her voucher isn't enough for her to move. She found something, but now the guidelines of the new landlord that they want you to adhere by. You got the guidelines of Section 8, which they want you to abide by,
Right.
but none of them pertains to everything that's going on today.
Right.
So if they're not, if your voucher is 1896, but the rent is 2200, they want the landlord to just accept that 1896, but the landlord on the other end is saying, well, how you gonna pay me this extra 300 and something dollars?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So we have an issue going on here, and I just want to say a couple of things really quick to Jessica. Jessica, I just want to say a couple of things really quick to you. What you're doing this evening is really important because we have to give a face and identity to who these issues are happening to, because there are people in this community who act like they don't know, and because it doesn't have a face, you want to say, oh, well, it's just no. These are people. This is me. This is you. These are our friends. Like she said, and she said some key things, and I want to bring to just the audience's attention. When she says I'm an Indian, that means something, because when I say I'm a bulldog, that means something. She's talking about pride in your school, pride in your community.
I'm a blue devil, baby.
Okay, blue devil. Those things meant something to us, and we've been robbed of those things. And another thing, when she spoke to the heart of Newark being changed and just done, that's what it is. It's like we were decimated in so many ways, and I feel it too. It's like, yo, who are these people who don't care? And when she's talking about going to get services and people looking at you saying, oh, well, you got your nails done, or you got some nice sneakers on.
Mm-hmm.
I love what she just said. My grandmother taught me the same thing. You don't look like what you've been through. You don't let. So we have pride. So when we're going to these places, these places for service that have other people in our community from where we're from, and they're working there, you mean to tell me you can't service me? Like, we can sit in Marlowe's and drink and chill, but you can't service me without you taking my pride from me? Things have to change, and that's what this show is about, right? Talking about those things, putting them on this on the stage, right? So people can self-reflect, because there's some workers somewhere that's gonna watch this and be like, wow, and maybe they can reflect and do differently as they move forward and understand how important these jobs are that they have, that they're not just about paychecks, that they're about changing lives and making lives better. And one of you just spoke to when people are getting verbally evicted. Which one of you guys said that? I want to show you guys a clip right now, so you guys bear with me. I want to show you a clip from a gentleman that he wanted to share some thoughts with us earlier this week at a rally. So this time I'm going to share that with you guys. I want you to listen closely.
They actually did, they legally evicted me just because
they had legally evicted you? Just because you said what?
Just because, they asked me, where am I going to be after the 15th? I told them, I said, if I don't have an apartment by the 15th, then you have to legally file the papers to evict me. And they said, so you want to stay here after the 15th? I said, yes. I mean, I don't have anywhere to go.
How long you been here?
5 years.
Wow, go ahead. Finish telling me.
And so they said, no, you're going to leave right now. They called the police. The police came out and they kicked me out of the building.
Without the judge,
Without the judge, without the...
Wow.
And I actually allowed the police to go into my room to show that I actually live here. They verified my residence, everything. It still wasn't enough. I had to leave the premises. They told me if I came back, I would be arrested for trespassing. So I had to file an order to show cause. And I was seen before the judge, and the judge told them that that was illegal, and they had to let me back in the building.
This is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. And she's been out here. She's lost her job.
Wait, Sheila, was that at the Riviera?
Yes.
How do you evict someone out of the Riviera? How? I worked for Superior Court for 7 years. How do you evict someone and kick them out of a city-wide, public, not private,
right,
public, who get grant money, they get assistance from the government. You take Section 8, you take TRA, you take basically any form of payment from the community.
Right.
And then our Newark's finest, who knows law, who come and tell this man that he could not be there. First of all, any known officer would tell you this is not a case for us. This is a landlord-tenant case that I can't tell this person. You have to, file a summons and complaint in landlord-tenant court. So when did the city start taking on landlord-tenant cases?
Right. So that's the situation that we're dealing with. And this is why this show is so important. This is why the information is so important, because people are being not just illegally evicted, but just verbally told to get out. So their rights are not being respected. Do they even have rights? He said that the police were there.
Yes, and so he had to get out.
Yeah, so the police don't know that they're in violation of his rights? Should we believe that? And who's okaying? Who is okaying? Who has the power to okay these types of things taking place? So with that being said, go ahead, Tanika, please.
Wait a minute. Was that the same day when you were down at the Riviera with the other young lady where
Yes, and I'm gonna bring her on. Yes.
Took her picture?
That's right. So
he was on camera saying the same thing.
The same thing.
Okay. I just
want to bring her on. And everybody, I just want to introduce you to our lead housing advocate now in the city of Newark. She really needs no introduction, but she's in a class by herself in terms of her advocacy, in terms of her love for the people, spending her own resources, utilizing her own time, constantly researching, identifying the laws, identifying what programs are out there to help us, while simultaneously trying to make sure that people get employed through construction and get licenses and just so many different things. I just want to bring you guys to bring to the stage Manira Bonmani at this time. Welcome, Manira.
Welcome.
It's an honor.
Good evening, everybody.
It's an honor to have you, Manira. Love you to death. Listen, Manira, we
love me to life.
Love that.
I love that. Love you to life.
Exactly.
Right. Love me to life.
For sure.
So we got vampires that's sucking the blood out of us.
Yeah,
so we need to be loving each other to life.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So Manira, we have Jessica on, right? Jessica is with us tonight, giving us a face to homelessness, because I think that when people just hear the word and they don't see anybody, it's like, this isn't really happening. No, this is a beautiful queen, right? Beautiful, talented, does film. She's a mom. She's an entrepreneur, right? And yet
Thanks.
she's in this situation, right, where shelter is an issue. And she's not the only one, because I was telling the audience briefly about the situation with the rally out in front of the Hotel Riviera. Maybe you could just touch up
Yes.
about that a little bit, and then I'll bring Jessica and everybody back to just let them know who you are, what you do, and give us some of the experience outside of the hotel that evening.
So my name is Manir Bumani, and oh wow, I've been a Newark advocate for like 30 years. And moving forward. I consider myself the homeless interrupter.
Right.
Because I will do all I can and gonna do all I can to
That's
make sure I interrupt this homeless pandemic that's happening in our community. I want to give thanks to the voices, to you all who have joined this show, to tell your story about, your situations as far as dealing with your housing crisis, and also, sharing your story about what you see that's happening in the city where you are, born, a native of. I give thanks to you. Far as the sister Jessica,
right.
That Section 8 issue that you're dealing with, you're not the only one. And that's another monster that we're going to continue to also not only bring voice, but also call on, individuals who have stories about the Section 8 voucher program that is happening here in the city of Newark, because that's a whole nother different story. Those who know me, like I said, I'm an advocate, a part of our newly we developed a New Jersey emergency response team. It is going to be not only just focusing on Newark, but we're going to be focusing on New Jersey, because this homeless pandemic, epidemic,
right,
is like, not only home, it has intensified here, but we are dealing with it, in the county of Essex and statewide and globally.
Right. Manira, let me ask you a question. I know that you not only do this advocacy on the street level with boots to the ground, but you also go to the city council meetings. How have you been received in terms of sharing with them your concerns about the homeless community?
Well, of course, I'm in their ear. I have been attacked on every level, for speaking up, and lifting my voice about this crisis that seems to be continuing to go and spiral downhill. I'm going to ask the question to Newark residents: have the homeless pandemic gotten any better under this administration? Absolutely not.
Right.
But I've been attacked. I've been labeled, disruptive, labeled disorderly, for speaking up, and, our failed leadership, I'm going to always call them, seem like they supposed to have the last word, and they supposed to, paint their narrative and push their narrative about, this homeless crisis, when, I'm affected, you affected, all of us on this call is affected, along with the residents, the many residents that's in our community that is affected by this homeless crisis and housing pandemic.
Right.
So I'm being attacked. I'm being kicked out of meetings, banned from meetings, just for, not allowing them to keep on pushing their lies, their
Right.
narrative
Right.
about, this homeless crisis.
Right.
So I'm going to continue. Every time they continue to think they're going to push lies and spread lies, and I call it now maximum sophisticated corruption and collusion and confusion. That's going on, and we have to make sure that we pull the covers,
Right.
uncover and share our stories, and also to continue to expose this housing crisis that we are facing, because
Right.
it's not getting any better.
It's not.
It's getting worse.
It's getting
It's
worse.
getting worse. If I could just tell you, and it was just sad, and I had to say something.
Right.
That you have the East Ward council person who a lot of people thought that was going to come in here and really, really do a great job, and also do some investigation about some of the things that we've been some of the issues that we've been addressing at the council meeting. But
Right.
he had the audacity to keep, pushing this administration narrative that people are being dropped off here, that's causing this homelessness. No, you need to go pay a visit to all the Newark shelters.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go take yourself and pay a visit to the YMCA that have women and children. Okay, you need to go pay yourself a visit on the highways of 21 where people got tents up. You need to go pay a visit in these abandoned and commercial buildings that people are sleeping in.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go take yourself and pay yourself a visit to landlord tenant court, where we got over 40,000 people waiting to get evicted here in the city of Newark. You need to go pay a visit.
Pay a visit to Harmony House too while you doing that.
All
Because
over.
I wanna give a
these
shout
safe
out to the
havens,
Harmony House because they doing it big there. Okay, I love them.
Give thanks
They
to them.
took us in and they are doing it.
Yes,
They
we
doing
know
their
they
thing
are.
there. I love them. I love the
Thanks to
Harmony
them
House.
and the
I promise
Apostle
you,
House,
the city of Newark, if they
who's
don't got nothing
trying.
else, they got that. They got that.
No,
They fixing
salute
credit
them,
and
because
everything else at the Harmony House. Okay, let's go.
Well, the city of New York can't take the credit for Harmony House. We thank Archdiocese of New York. We thank
Well, we could thank
North
a whole lot of safe havens that are, we got a list of them, and I commend all these all these we're gonna call them like extension. They like safe havens for you got Harmony House, Apostle House,
Mute your mic, Jessica, if you need to temporarily.
you have
I just gotta give credit when credit's due though, because
Life,
Harmony House they took us in.
A lot of safe havens. We thank people for doing that, but my whole thing is that these individuals need to go pay a visit to see these places where these are people who are unhoused individuals that need housing. And what I'm going to continue to say is housing and homelessness, not shelters, not containers, not the YMCA, housing. So we're going to have to keep pushing. We're going to have to keep pushing for these individuals to build housing that meets the needs of the residents of the city. Stop closing down our public housing, because that was like the one of the major factors of how this homeless pandemic have gotten worse. We need one replacement on all our public housing. We need designate land to build low to moderate income housing to meet the needs of this resident. We need them to take all these abandoned properties, vacant homes, that is city owned.
Right.
City owned properties.
Right.
City controlled properties. Renovate these properties and make them able to meet the income of the residents of the city.
Okay, can I say something right quick?
A lot of things.
Wait a minute, I want to interrupt you guys. I want to get a comment in from one of the people that's been watching. She's been here for a while.
But before you do that right quick, right? I just want to just say real quick, right? But you know how much money is in the city of Newark? Do you know how many people in the city of Newark got money? Everybody's saying so much, but nobody is so beat to buy a building. Nobody's so beat to invest in Newark. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so beat to say so much, but nobody's so beat to just buy a building and turn it into something. You know what I'm saying? From Newark. Go ahead and take your talk. You could take your comment.
That in itself is political because they are.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. That's why I wanted to just slide this in real
exactly.
quick.
So,
but it's a good topic.
Listen, is that
it's a good topic. I just want to include the listening audience. It's only this one comment, and we're gonna go right back to that. Thank you for that, Jessica. Timmy just says yes because my friend got a letter handing over to her from her landlord who just bought the house like a year and a half ago, telling them that they had to move in January. Let's not forget they are there. They are there. Wait, forget they are there. I'm not sure what that is. Are foreigners. It happened in Irvington. Okay, so it's relevant. Thank you for that, Timmy. And the reason why that comment is relevant because many of the same things that is happening in Newark, they're happening in neighboring towns as well, right? And so we see a lot of this going on. And I think somebody hinted toward this earlier with the Rutgers crime report that basically what happened was, I just muted her mic for just a moment. Basically, what happened was with the Rutgers crime report, it exposed across the city the fact that the city was being sold out, and specifically the South Ward and the West Ward, like crazy, just exponentially. 3/4 of both wards were sold out, and it's like, okay, how did this happen? Did the administration know? What was city council aware? Who allowed for this to happen? What was in place to safeguard the residents here? Right. And even if you look at it before that, there was a lot of home foreclosures that took place. Right. There are homes that, and somebody mentioned that earlier too. All the dilapidated properties 10 years ago. Well, let's just say 8 years ago when this administration took office, this wasn't the case in Newark. Newark was still very vibrant, still very a lot of people just was here that are not here anymore. So when Tanika asked the question, what happened to our homeless? Where are they? I also want to know where the homeowners, people just got up and abandoned their homes. So there's something that's going on here that's really wrong and it's really insidious. And she says, and she pays her rent on time, never late. Yeah. So Timmy, also, I'm gonna just throw this comment up and then I'm gonna come back to Jessica. That this person Timmy is talking about, and Timmy is one of my neighbors in my ward as well. She's saying that this person pays her rent and is never late. This has happened, and I'm glad that she brought that up because again, if we don't make the circumstances clear, people will think, oh, these are not people, these are people who didn't pay their rent, they were doing something wrong. But it's just not the case. That's not what's going on. People are actually doing the right thing. Like even at Hotel Riviera, if I'm saying that right, how do you say that, Manera? Riviera, thank you. Those people are working people, and people tend to like, oh well, those people, they need to go get a job. No, some of them have 2 jobs.
Yes, and they paid $3,000 a month.
So there's a lot of
we
people
got testimonies.
Yeah, I watched that video with the young lady.
Right. So there's a lot of people who are not impacted by this, right? And they need to see people's faces instead of the same, 4 or 5 people who are always at the council meetings and are always protesting. And tonight, and I'm going to go to Jessica after I say this, tonight we were at a meeting for Councilman Kelly. And what came up was one of the young ladies from City Hall had shared a statistic that about less than like 17% of the city maybe have a bachelor's degree. So that means that the over whopping portion of people are really not even as educated to fight for themselves as they need to, because many of the things I may speak out for, or Manera may speak out for, or Tanika may speak out for, people are looking like, why are you speaking out for that? Like my situation is good. You know, I got my this or I got my that, not understanding that there's a lot more that you can have. Just like let's calm down for a minute. Let us, advocate for you, because somebody just mentioned, I think Jessica, and I'm going to take it back to her, that the money is here. The money is here. And Jessica, I don't know if you like to speak to that. The money is definitely here.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I wanted you to elaborate now a little bit on what you just said about the money is definitely here. I agree with you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely here. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny, but there's so many people that grew up here in Newark that are complaining and talking about Newark, and it's just like you could go out and spend money in the club and go out and spend money on clothes and shine and buy cars, but why not buy a building? Why not, you know what I mean? And that's a residual income for even yourself, but there's no classes saying that here. You know what I mean? There's no class. There's a home first time home buyers class. No, wait. Well, what about let's invest, like showing people how to invest in the money that they got in their pocket right there, the liquid assets that they have.
Right.
A lot of people don't know about it, you know what I mean? Because everybody's trying to worry about the wrong thing. They got everybody's focus readjusted, and it's not right, you know what I mean? Like they offering all of the wrong things. Like I help you do this, and the third, but I need essential stuff. I need quintessential stuff. I need things that's going to help me leave legacies and things for my children's children, you know? But nobody really wants to talk about that. Yeah. Go ahead. I promise you, I'm like working with 12 minutes right now to get inside of this Harmony House shelter. Yeah. I love it. They've been great to me, and I'm just trying to make it inside right now with my children here. Well, listen, they're all here as well.
Listen, Jessica, I don't know if Manera or Tanika wants to respond to your
I definitely do want to respond. There are people here. There are people here that's trying to purchase property, but let me tell you one thing: it's a lot of bureaucracy that's going on. It's a lot of folks that are hindering individuals from purchasing. We even had testimonies from people who try to purchase a home, to turn it into a safe haven for the less fortunate. And
that's not what. But ma'am, ma'am, I just want to say, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm not even talking about how many people.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I want to say what I'm saying about what you spoke about. For us, there's money here, and people need to go buy. It's not that
but
easy,
you're not you saying that, but you're not listening to me because you ready to answer. You ready to answer me, ma'am? And I'm just trying to tell you, like, it's not even about that. It's about the teaching those people that have the money. You can approach, but you got to have a certain type of presentation, and they don't have that presentation. So when you got that presentation because you was taught by leaders here, the leaders don't want to see you better than them. You understand? And that's the problem. It's not even about the boys, the people that got the money. It's about the people that don't want to see you grow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of frustration. Let me just intervene.
So don't, I'm not here to like
Manera,
go back and forth with her point of view. You're right. But I'm trying to tell her.
So if I could just intervene.
What I know what's going on as far as people trying to purchase homes here that are being
So I'd like to intervene if I can, to just say I think that both of you have valid points. That Jessica is right that there's a lot of money here, but the question is who has access to that money, right? Mm-hmm. And who has the power? Who has the power to allocate those funds? And that's why it's so important that we hold city council accountable, but people are not showing up to do that. And Jessica said again, you have way too many. It's a huge imbalance of people that is at the Fox Trap and at Marlowe's and and I don't care about being at those places because I actually like to go there too. I love to dance and enjoy myself at the end of the week. So that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that there's a huge imbalance between the people who are doing way too much partying, and you can balance it off a little bit and attend some of these councilmen and look at who the council people are. Many people that live here, they don't know who their council person is. They don't know what district or ward they live in sometimes. And when we start to educate ourselves on those things, we're more powerful when instead of it's 5 or 10 people down at the city council meeting, that it's 50 people or 100 people. You understand what I'm saying? Because those people are supposed to do what you want them to do, not what they want to do. And I think the West Board proved that tonight with the meeting that we had. But be that as it may, I
Great.
just we got about 8 minutes left. I want to share some more comments really quick. Um, Timmy says, she said the landlord told her that they can make more money if they move. Let's not forget they turn these homes into room houses. Timmy, you're absolutely correct. They want to get rid of the tenants. They want to jack up the prices. Jessica said that also. Manira said that also. No, they're definitely on the same page.
Airbnb.
But yeah, with those Airbnbs and everything is about money, and we gotta, change the lens. The last comment that I see on here, even the Newark, there's a lot of even in Newark, there's a lot of houses that's being turned into room and houses illegally. I think she's trying to say. So that's the problem. Who is spearheading all of this illegal housing that's create housing behaviors that are creating a bigger housing
Good night.
challenge? So those are the things that we have to combat. Those are the questions that we have to ask. And I just want to say, Jessica, because I know you have to go, would you be willing to come to a city council meeting and share your thoughts, to our council?
Exactly. Right.
Okay, I would love to be a part of all that. I'm welcoming myself back here to Newark. It's
Yes.
been a hard, bumpy roller coaster. I must say, I wish I could flip the camera so you guys could see my my
Oh,
little area.
yeah.
But it is what it is, and I'm getting just trying to get acclimated back here. Like I said, it wasn't easy. Whew. A rose from concrete,
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
I
and
must say,
a positive
but
attitude
we're gonna make it happen.
can get you through. Listen, Jessica, I thank you so much. Jessica, we reserve the right to bring you back on, okay? Because we want to continue advocating
Definitely.
and getting everybody up to a higher quality of life here in the city of Newark. All right, Indian?
Definitely. Say good night, y'all.
Okay, good night, everybody. Good night. Good
Have a
night.
good evening.
All right.
Rest
Good night.
well.
Good night.
So there's a lot of frustration,
Council meeting. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of frustration, and it's rightfully so because there's so many people that are just at their wits end. But one thing I love about Jessica is her strong will, right? She still has a great attitude about her situation, and I think that that's important, right? And that's why wage was created, right? To build self-esteem, empowerment, that no matter what we're going through, that we're still together and we can, hold hands together, walk together, and press forward together. And this is a press. Understand, this is definitely a press, because when you have small children and you're living in a shelter and you're grown and you have a curfew for what time you need to be in a place, because God forbid, it's almost 10 o'clock. Let's say that her and her kids got there at 10:15. There could have been a car accident or anything. Now you and your children are out in the cold for the night and can't get in. So these are some of the issues, like I said, that women are dealing with that are unique, right? From everybody else's situation. And while we want all hands on deck, it's a lot of work to be done to get people, to just be participatory. People don't feel that they have a voice. So I don't know if anybody wants to,
But people gotta stop suffering in silence. Like when she was getting ready to ma'am, going at my throat about, my opinion about her comment that she was saying that there's a lot of money in people. But my whole thing is that, raise that energy with the powers that be.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to really go back and forth, but I will go back and forth if you disrespect me. You know, but my whole thing is that, you know, and I keep saying it every time, you know, we are our own liberators. We have to like stop having this me, you, and a couple of other individuals, you know, standing up and putting our lives, you know what I'm saying, being attacked, threatened, you know, banned, and we going through a whole lot of stuff. All this stuff because we want to stand out there and be the voice of the voiceless. Right. When other people that, you know, they want to come at our necks, you know, have so much to say about, you know, how we fight. My whole thing is get up and get in this fight and fight the people that needs to be addressed. Okay? And that is these individuals who are controlling our budget down in criminal hall. I'm going to continue to say it. Everything about this administration that needs to be said. Criminal hall, bring yourself down to these council meetings, okay, and stand with us while we stand for you. Point blank. And like, I want to continue to complete what I was saying. There's a lot of people who are trying to purchase properties. There's a lot of people who is trying to get commercial property. I know all too well because they come to me.
Right.
To me. I know people that went from being a street merchant on the street that's been trying to purchase buildings here. And guess what? If you're not a part of, you know, this collusion, you know, and these individuals who you know, what I call if it is their way or the highway, you ain't a part of the corrupt enterprise, then you know you ain't getting nothing.
Or they can't use you.
You ain't getting housing. You ain't right, exactly.
Well, listen, only because of time.
That part.
Only because of time. Good stuff. I'm gonna say thank you so much for joining us, Manera, and we're gonna reserve the right to call you back at a further date. Okay.
Always.
Thank you, Manera. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for bringing these voices to the table. Peace and love, my sister.
Peace and love.
Good night. Know, great seeing you again.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a blessed evening. All right.
You too.
Peace and love.
Thank you. Tanika, so I think great show. What are your thoughts?
Definitely. Some topics that needed to be brought up. Definitely hit some key points. Not only with private housing, with public housing, with that collective group who has been able to obtain some property here in the city of Newark that people here in the city of Newark was not able to obtain some of those properties. Having a business in the city of Newark for over 7 years and to get a piece of paper. Matter of fact, I got a piece of paper through the mail, and then I even got served with a process server in my car.
Wow.
With the eviction notice for my business on South 12th Street, where a person purchased the property who didn't live in New Jersey, didn't have a business in New Jersey, but bought the property from up under me without the city giving me ample time to say, hey, you know, we want to get rid of this property. No, you have a business here already established. What deal could we make, you know, so you could commandeer and have this solely for yourself. There's a lot of things, like I said, there's a lot of deals that went on and was contracted behind closed doors, over the phone, via fax, over lunch, over a cup of coffee, that, you know, the people of Newark, the taxpayers of Newark, were not privileged. And if you know, I rode around, I took down addresses, I was calling down to to the city to property management,
Right.
giving addresses. And if this was on a certain list,
Right.
that that's not up, or that's already is spoken for. Oh, such and such has this property, and you like, well, if they obtained this property 2 years ago, how is it still sitting here as an eyesore? Anybody else, you give them a time frame on, you got 6 months to do what you need to do to this property, because y'all wanted y'all tax money by the beginning of whatever fiscal year that was coming in. So
Right.
why this person, purchased this property, and long as they pay they quarterly taxes, on the building, they can, have it sitting there boarded up, people, writing on it. But there's that community that we're not privileged to.
Right. And so with that being said, like I said, I think that we've definitely opened the door tonight, right? And we heard the frustration, right? But this is my situation with the whole thing. It's a rotation of frustration, right? So the people who are going through this are frustrated, right? And so the activists or the advocates are frustrated. They go to the city council meetings, and then the city council people act frustrated. Who is the ones in control? And I just keep coming back to that question.
That question to get all over again.
Yeah, and that's why I said we're gonna bring this show back, because everybody wants to come back on. But we're gonna bring this show back. We're gonna have a part 2, and I just want to know, like, if it's not the residents, and it's not the advocates, and it's not the council, none of these people have the answers. Who has the answers? These issues are not unresolvable. I mean, we're watching trillions of dollars go to Ukraine. We're watching money being spent like never before. And it's like, there's some things that we could do. Oftentimes it's said you just can't throw money at a problem. But listen, we can throw rights at a problem. Like, where are the rights? Like I said, when the police comes with whoever into your home to illegally verbally evict you, you're against the law. You're breaking the law. Why don't you turn around to the person that's giving you that directive and slap those handcuffs on
them, saying, I can't do that.
So there's something that's going on that's, like I said, very insidious, and it's happening not just in Newark, but it's happening in communities all around. We've heard Newark say how they were a sanctuary city. We've heard Eric, the mayor over here in New York, complaining vehemently about all the immigrants that are coming in. How are we going to accommodate everybody? And that needs to be a plan that's laid down, the blueprint, before those people were allowed to come here. They were allowed. We did know that they were coming. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's just something that we're going to continue to talk about. And I just want to say again, just thank you for everybody who joined Wage this evening. And until we get together again, listen, just stay tuned. We're going to keep trying to tackle these issues, and not just to tackle them, but to, like I said, the reason for the show tonight was just to give a name, to give a face to the people in this struggle. And everybody has to be patient and kind with each other, and understand that we're all trying to do the best that we can. We have to make sure that we have open, respectful dialogue, and to hear each other out, and to allow the referee to bring it up.
Jessica sent a message saying, let her back in.
I saw it. I ignored it. Yeah. I'll let her back in at the beginning of the next week. Yeah, the next week. And Jessica has some very, very great points, but we're going to bring her back in because we want to bring this to a close. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us. Thank you for everybody who continues to show Wage mad love. I love each and every one of you. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the president, and Tanika Moses is the vice president. And together with some wonderful women in the community, as well as wonderful men, we make Wage, Women Advocating for Gender Equality. We ask you to join our group. We ask you to get educated on the issues, right? Be a part of the change. Anybody can argue, but it takes a very important and awesome person, right, to hear the issues, to have patience, to have love and kindness, and to press forward together, not separate. Okay. So thank you guys for joining us, and until next time.
Good night.
night, guys. Good night.
Town, a
wage love.
14-year-old boy with a record of drug arrests was shot and killed. It was the 10th fatal shooting or stabbing in Newark in 10 days.
Another deadly shooting investigation is underway tonight in Newark. This comes after a wave of violence erupted.
First, let me introduce y'all to the mayor, and I'm saying mayor because that's what it is. Some call me Sheila or Silver Bullet, just know I'm all about handling biz. First, we're gonna start by saving the kids, making the city a safe place to live. Unlike some people, that's all about self. My only mission right now is to give, and now it's feeling like Resident Evil with all of these fake political leaders. They need to go sit in the bleachers and just stay motivational speakers. Being the mayor is not for the weak. Got my feet on the ground and I'm out in these streets. You can show me with action, it's not what you speak. Say you for the city ain't beat. Lit the city on fire, we're walking through ashes. Parents are tired of giving you passes. Why are our children not learning in classes? Teach about businesses, real estate taxes. Fighting to keep low income housing. So much corruption, it's astounding. Team Newark, we can't allow that. And there ain't no way to get around that. Nothing but change when you vote for me. Time to get back where we supposed to be. Open the door, open the door.